Throughout Corona, many of heartbroken incident has taken place, but some of the incident like innocent soul being left behind alone by their parent in this world with no one to look after is the worst of them all. Hello everyone, my name is Satyam Shivaj and I am an intern at Lexis and Company. And in this video, we will talk about adoption law, procedure to adopt, and step to constitute an orphanage. Let's start with who is an orphan and what is adoption. According to Black's Law Dictionary, orphan is a child who has been deprived of parental care and has not been legally adopted. A child without a parent or guardian. An adoption is a process of establishing a parent-child relationship between the person who are not blood related. It allows parentless and orphan child to have parent, home, name, and a good life. And on the other hand, it enables childless parent to have a child of their own. Now let's take a look at law which governs adoption in India. There are three main existing legislation. First being the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956, which is applicable on Hindu, Buddhist, Jain and Sikh. Then there is the Guardian and Wards Act 1890, which assists other religion like Muslim, Parsi, Christian and Jews in adoption as there is no concrete provision under their personal law. Then there is Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act. According to the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, any Hindu male who is an adult and is of sound mind can adopt. And if he is married, then the adoption decision should be made in consensus with his living wife. Moreover, a married woman can also adopt if she is a widow or she is a divorcee, or by her or her husband has abandoned the world or changed his religion. Along with that, any unmarried woman can also adopt if she is a Hindu adult and is capable to adopt in terms of soundness of mind. Now let's see who can be adopted. Any Hindu girl or boy child or any unmarried child who has not been adopted before the age of 15 years can be adopted. Now let's see the procedure for adoption. There is a need of following a valid procedure to carry out adoption which involves a series of steps. First being the eligibility condition and the capacity to adopt of adoption parents need to be fulfilled. Then you need to approach a voluntary coordinating agency or a child welfare agency in their respective region or area. Then the agency will register their particulars by way of application form. The agency will then conduct a preliminary interview with the adopting couple in order to understand their intention and motivation behind adoption. Next being this agency will identify a placement agency and a suitable child for them. Afterwards, a home study report is prepared for perusal by the agency. The adopting parents will be called to meet the suitable child as identified by the placement agency. Then the doctor which has been selected by the adopting parents will screen the child medically. As the court issue the decree, the adoption is finalized. The agency will guide to ensure a post-adoption follow-up. The adoptive parents or adopted child cannot cancel the valid adoption or neither can return back his or her adoptive parents if valid procedure has been followed. However, in case of any fraud in the adoption proceedings, or the court can invalidate such an adoption. Now let's see what are the main provisions under the Guardian and Ward Act 1890. This act is applicable to all the children with no relevance to race, caste or creed, unlike Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. But the Guardian and Ward Act doesn't grant equivalent status to the adopted child as that to the biological child of the adopted parents. It only grants a guardian-ward relationship. Here the Act allows the guardianship only till the child is minor, This relationship lasts when the child attains the age of 21. Then after completing this prescribed age, he or she will not remain as ward and will be considered as an individual identity. Now let's see the adopting procedure under the Guardian and Ward Act. A person seeking guardianship has to place a completely filled application with the court. The application must provide complete information of the person, his reason to become guardian, and any other information that is asked in that application. After admitting the application, the court will set the date of hearing, where it will hear the views, evidence required, and then will announce its decision after considering the interest of minor and on the basis of its discretionary power. Now you must be thinking, what are the property rights to children adopted under this act? See, under this act, the child will only become a ward of his or her guardian parent. He will not become their own child and thus do not take their name or inherit their property by any right. However, if the adopted parents wish to grant the property, then they can do so by the way of will, which can later be challenged by any of their blood relative. Now let's discuss the last topic of this video, that is the procedure to constitute an orphanage. Here are few of the really important points that should be completed before you take in any child. First of all, you need to set a location. You need to acquire a piece of property to base the organization. If possible, eventually have it registered in the name of the organization. Then you need to get the letter of support. Get as many as letter of support as you can, as fast as you can, from the local businessman, politician, dignitaries, or foreign business person. You can also get the letter of support from the panchayat, village head, or individual, as it will help you in the long run. Then get your society registered. Register the organization as a society. This is done through your local register or societies. If you need to help finding them, ask your local tehsil or ask SDM or even a lawyer there at the court. For this you need to have a board of director, bylaws and few other things. Then get your orphanage registered. This is the most important step which is need to be taken care. All orphanages and children homes in India must be registered under the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act, as amended in 2006, even if they have a license under the other law. Application for register under the JJ Act should be done in the prescribed manner through the District Social Welfare Office, where the concerned institution is functioning. Then get FCRA registration. If you want to get funding from overseas while working in India, you will need the FCRA registration number and a registered bank account under Contribution Regulation Act of 1976. This is done through the Ministry of Home Affairs in Delhi. Then you need to register with the Income Tax Department. Register of your society for a PAN number. It is essential. After this, you can ask at your local tax office about applying for the tax-free statute known as 12-way registration. If you want people who donate to you from within India to be able to claim the donation as tax deductible, then you need to have 18G registration. Get an accountant. It is good to have an idea of having a permanent accountant, either contracted or on your payroll. Accountability is essential for any organization to survive. Then you need to get a lawyer. It is good idea to have a permanent lawyer. Lots of different documents will be drafted for your organization, such as memorandum of association, bylaws, application for registration, and etc. And it is best to have a professional to do this. Then at last, start looking for funding. Finding funding is a difficult thing, but if you register a society and get 12-way and 18G registration, you can apply for grants from business and other NGOs. Corporate social responsibility programs are also a great place to start. Thank you.